Hello, Tori. How are you, my dear?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Michael Dean set us all up today. First of all, thank you, Michael Dean. But he's dealing with he got one of those windows you get when somebody's coming to, like, it used to be put in the cable, but now it's like you do some work around your house. I call it real adult work. And we got into a discussion, Tori, on our chat because Michael Dean said, I don't know what time the workmen will be here. And I was like, are you in 14th century England? Like that is a very old school term. But then we kind of go back and forth of like colleagues, like, what do you guys call like,
Wait, you
like,
cut out. You say it
like
again?
like what do you guys call like the work people that come to your house?
Yeah, then Michael Dean suggested the word journeyman, and I laughed so hard I started crying. I don't know why he would say that, but
That
it's for
sounds
him.
like a cover band of the band Journey.
Totally. Don't stop believing. Okay, so he has 100-inch TV and he needs to have it go up the stairs. So that's what he's trying to get. I thought, Brandon, it's definitely handyman. I think we're good with handyman. I think just stick with that.
But
That feels
my
really good.
mom had a self-identified black female lesbian she I don't think she went by handyman. Is she a handy
Handy person.
person?
Handy person.
But I don't like that.
I think
Oh, my
handyman is
handy person is here. I'll call you back. Does that sound right?
no, but you know what? Fire person, it doesn't sound great either, but they're trying to do that now. I know a firewoman, a firefighter who's a woman, obviously put that together, but handy ma'am. Oh my God, Brandon.
Oh, I
Very cool.
love it.
Brandon. Unbelievable.
Brandon, as if you already don't remind everybody to hit the like button, you figure out the universe for us. Well, Brandon put that topic to bed because he just rolls like that. Tori, I want to remind everybody to follow us on Instagram and remember to like and subscribe and all that good stuff. All right, Tori, let's get to it because we have a bunch of stuff to have a chit chat about. But the first thing is, for once, a good thing. It's been a rough month.
It's
So I think
been terrible.
I would say maybe on record, it's one of the worst months we've ever had. We're just
I think
like,
it's one of
it
the worst.
started with us invading a foreign country. We don't even talk about Venezuela anymore.
I know. I think it's one of the worst months America's ever had.
Yeah, but we're still here and we're still doing this. Oh, Tori, it's finally ready to do some vibey sports. It's this weekend, the Super Bowl. You ready to hit it up? You ready to have, we've been building up all year. You started off gangbusters and cooled off a little bit towards the end of the season, but I feel like it's Super Bowl. It's the Hawks, the Seahawks, or as you call the Ospreys, versus the New England Patriots. Tori, what are you thinking? Are you going to think it's Mike Vrabel, former linebacker of Bill Belichick, who took his old job and now got to the Super Bowl in a year? He's like, "What's up, old man? Maybe it's going to be renamed after me, player." Or is it going to be the Seahawks that look like a juggernaut with that quarterback I told you about? And colleagues, I love it because of the way the city of Seattle has embraced Sam Darnold. He was viewed as a bust, one of those guys that, like, all those mean old men on sports channels go, worst player ever. We should take his face in the mud, And so he was basically just a journeyman. Perfect time for the word. His career was going to be viewed as like just terrible. He gets a new team, Seattle. They embrace him, Tori, instead of laughing at him. And now they're at the Super Bowl. So, Tori, is it going to be the redemption story of Sam Darnold, or is it going to be Mike Vrabel and them boys taking it home to New England?
So please write in the chat, you guys, right now, who you think wants it. So far, we're seeing Brandon wants to go Hawks. Julia says she wants the Seahawks. Most people are, NFC, as close to Phoenix as you can get. Here's what I think. My first instinct, I'm from New England, or my mother was from Massachusetts, and I'm from DC, kind of East Coast. So I want to say the Patriots, and my first instinct is like, oh, Super Bowl Patriots. But there's something in my belly, okay? In my belly. Not the Snarf's tuna fish sandwich I just ate.
Shout
But
out.
shout out. But I think it's going to be the Hawks.
Wow. Okay. So Tori says they're going to bring the championship back to the Pacific Northwest. Tori, all I need from you now is a score, girl. Channel the cosmos.
24-21.
Ooh, good game. All right. So you're saying that New England will cover the 4.5 spread. So if you are a betting person, put the 4.5 on New England, or just take the money line for Seattle to win. All right, Tori.
Again, I also like that Seattle has the loudest stadium because, as Julia said, the 12th man rules. And I like that the aspect of like that the fans can actually have
an impact on the game.
An impact on the game. Now, I also want to say Bad Bunny has announced he's wearing a dress. And he said, if you don't want to see me in a dress, don't watch. But there'll be so many people watching.
Absolutely. Tori, I'll tell you this. And don't forget, like, incredible performers have always toed the line in terms of like what's considered gender appropriate clothing. Like somebody comes to name mine, like Prince,
Harry Styles, Boy George.
Yes, absolutely. And guess what? Prince could take your girl. I know you're super masculine and arm curls and chat. Prince could take your girl. So like, just I get it, but like, trust me, it's like there's always been people that push the ledge. Who's the incredible? For some reason, my mind's saying Billy Idol, but it's not that. David Bowie. David Bowie always.
Totally. Yes. Ziggy Stardust, the whole thing. Yeah, there's a lot of changing and moving, and Bad Bunny is just really stylish about it and super excited. I just saw a really funny comedian, Josh Johnson. I don't know if you know him. He's a Black comedian. Yeah. He did really well with the Kendrick and Drake like fight. Anyway, he was saying how the white Republicans from like the South and Midwest are like, you can't get blacker than Kendrick Lamar. So who are they going to give us? Some white country singer. And then they're like, it's not in English.
I mean, look, guys, we are a multicultural country. We cannot separate the two. So like, best to just get on board. But until then, Tori,
NFL's gotten on board, you know?
They really have, because they see, like, their whole thing is like, I get that you're mad, but we're not going after y'all anymore. We want your kids. And we don't want to set a precedent that like they stop watching NFL at 19 because we did some dumb shit. All right, here we go.
Yeah, and we want.
Sorry, girl, I cut you off. What were you saying?
They just want a global audience. That's all.
That's right. Just like every single, look at basketball. Basketball started with Jeremy Lin. He was a phenom for the Knicks. Then Yao Ming came, and they were like, wait a second, there's a country called China, and I think they have more than 15 people over there, don't they? Wouldn't you like to sell some jerseys to them? Yeah, figure it out. Get on board. Tori, you know who's on board right now?
Who?
All right, I'm gonna show you right here. I made some new yeah.
Oh boy.
All right.
I love cake.
Cake means money. Tori, do you know who we're looking at?
Yes, this is the Coldplay concert of the somewhat, I think that it wasn't as cut and dry as we all thought, but the guy from Astronomer, is that what it is?
Right, that's right. And the woman, don't forget her name, was Kristen Cabot.
She got good arm.
Yeah, she did. She talked about the experience, Tori. Had no idea that this was going to go as far as it did. It was life altering.
I mean, it was huge.
It was huge. She was getting 500 to 600 death threats a day. People calling her a homewrecker. Can you imagine? And remember, this didn't happen during a period like now where there's Minnesota, there's Trump, there's Epstein files. It was like kind of a weird period where nothing was happening, believe it or not, that existed. And this couple at a concert was the focus of everybody in America. But guess what, Tori? Last I checked, America runs underneath the umbrella of capitalism, right? Yeah. Well, she is now going to be the keynote speaker at a crisis PR conference. Tori, what would you pay for a crisis PR conference.
That's brilliant.
That one of the keynote speakers would be Mrs. Kristen Cabot.
I don't hate this. I think this is a really interesting choice. And I think why not get the person with the biggest crisis and needed a PR move in the country at the time. She actually got a New York Times spread on her. So she tried to pull it around. I don't know. I think I would pay like.
By the way, it's called Taking Back the Narrative. Interesting, right?
I agree. I think this would be interesting. Thank you for thinking it was me. Someone said it. I thought it was Tori because she's got like Michelle Obama arms.
Yeah, she's kind of
like 150, 100, 250, 500. Okay, no, 1,000.
$875, Tori.
Okay, no,
per
I'm
ticket.
out. I'm out.
There is nothing that could be going on that stage for $875. Do you understand?
Like, Coldplay comes out again. Like,
even then, I don't know what a concert would have to be for it to be $800, where it would even be on the table.
Totally.
But I thought about this. You know, we always think about things in a different way, colleagues. So this is my question. Obviously, your first line of thinking is, this is ridiculous. But if you are a person like us that posts content about the day's news or the country's news, wouldn't this be a great story to be able to come right out of and like go to your followers and say, we just heard Kristen Cabot speak and here's what she said it was? I mean, maybe you can look at it as like, we will make our money back in views, but that is a huge risk, more of a risk than they went to that concert that night.
You know what I do think? I bet you that they comp a bunch of influencers, so it gets spread with good word, and like it, you know, like it goes on Instagram, it goes on TikTok, and I bet they do that. Yeah, I bet that's what they're doing, but that's an enormous amount of money for like a famous speaker. Like I don't know if I'd pay that much to go see Dave Letterman. Like my next guest needs no introduction even. Like that's huge. So
I mean, we would have to be talking Nelson Mandela, boo.
Yeah,
I'm serious. Like when he was, I'm dead serious. I am dead serious.
I totally agree. Harry Styles' new tour is selling for 1,000 and up, and he's only doing his concerts in New York. I do want to say I paid a lot of money for what concert? It was because it's Hell. It was Hell Freezes Over. It was the Eagles, and it was because Glenn Fry's son was playing, and I paid a lot of money to go see them because, you know, they're not going to always be around, the Eagles. And it's the original
that's one of those things where you got to do it. If you're a fan,
yes.
I always say like Earth, Wind and Fire, I got to go see them. I don't know if for $1,000, but it's in there. So Tori, all right, we are obviously going to get to today's news, but it's Friday and we get a chance to have.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's Thursday.
To be near you feels like heaven in the afternoon.
It's Friday.
Tori, do you see now that, like, remember what we were talking about the other day with Kanye West when he was saying, like, I'm bipolar, I had an accident, I have a mental health issue. And I'm like, I totally get it.
No,
that's very plausible.
No.
But ADHD dates and Tori, there is never 1 second where you could come up to me and ask me what the date is and I would know. Never.
No, it wasn't Don Henley and first of all, I understand you somehow don't see what day it is or time. I get that. You have it's called, I think, time blindness. I think that's what it's called.
Most Black people are affected by it, but there are cures.
Jews are not great either. The Eagles, it wasn't just Don Henley. It was Don Henley. Joe Walsh was there. The other guy, Dan, with the long hair, was there. And then Glenn Fry's son was there. So it was like really close to being the original.
Look, yeah, sometimes things are worth it. When you start talking about once in a lifetime, not going to happen, that's what your money is for. I don't know if it's for somebody being a keynote speaker, but that's not my business. Now,
and
Tori,
by the way, Nate does HVAC says, I can't lie, I'm about as high as a cat's back, ladies and gents. Mazel tov.
All right. Well, welcome. The first rule of being high is you don't admit it, bro. You just hold it down, even under questioning. Don't fold. Are you high? Absolutely not. And I take offense to that. Can I have some Doritos? Okay, Tori. Let's take a look at our next story here because I wanted to get your thoughts on this because I was reading a little bit of code words here. Tori, have you heard that Chris Harrison, formerly of The Bachelor?
Wasn't he canceled?
Yes. But Tori, we're living in a different world. And you'll see with the next story that we're getting to. So he's got a new show. It has not been named yet, but it's a dating show. And it's basically, they don't have a title for it, but it's for daters that have traditional values. And literally, it's in quotes.
Oh
Tori,
my
Tori,
gosh.
Tori,
So he
Tori.
doubled down on the MAGA crowd. Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Okay, so the description reads a prominent streaming service is casting single men and women 21 and up who want traditional marriage minded partnership built on commitment and shared values. Who doesn't want that?
Yeah, that's everybody.
Who doesn't like, yeah, I'm looking for a woman that's she fights in underground cage tournaments
No, but
and
some people are going to want a polyamorous situation. Some people are going to want a tripod situation. So, traditional is I bet it's on Black Asian says it's on the Christian network. I bet it might be.
oh, that's a good one, Black Asian. Okay, Tori, it continues. We are looking for singles who believe in clear roles. You hear that, Tori? Go fix me some roles. That's we believe in a show that believes that a woman should be handing you something to drink right now.
I need to be in the kitchen. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
Tori, I can't. Okay. Long-term commitment. Everybody starts off like that, unless this is like a summer fling. You're like, you don't get to the chapel and be like, let's try and get 2 good years out of this. Like everybody hopes it's long term, and who are dating with real intention.
So it's going to be like trad wives. It's going to be, we're going to get that whole part. It's going to be in some ways, passively aggressively anti-gay, anti-polyamory, anti-interfaith, anti-interracial. You know what I mean? It's going to be all.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, none of that stuff you were talking about. Honestly, I think it's just going to be because even though the story is silly and funny, and when this show comes on, we'll make fun of it as you should. But there's a bigger thing. There is a lot of dark money behind a lot of these shows. Like all these kinds of shows that are going to be pushing an agenda because can't you see of an attractive young blonde female saying to camera, I believe in traditional roles.
That's all I'm seeing. That's all
right.
I'm saying.
And like that, somebody is benefiting from that. There's a reason that we keep hearing that over and over again. Remember the kicker from Kansas City, Harrison Butker, said his mom had like an advanced degree in physics.
Yeah, and he was like, women should be in the kitchen.
Right. And so it's like, I don't know what that comes from, but it and if you do believe in tradition, I would argue Sarah and I have pretty traditional roles.
Absolutely.
Except I love to clean, so I like to cook and clean too. But I drop her off at work, I pick her up. She doesn't touch the trash. That's what I like to do.
You guys are pretty traditional, yeah. And I think this is a call from the woke. This is anti-woke. It's all of that. Look, there's an audience for this. There's certainly an audience. And if you want a traditional marriage, like go for it. In my marriage, my husband I was the breadwinner and he was the one that took care of the house. And we had a very different type of role reversal. And I was really proud of that. But this is going to get eyeballs and it is going to get, some people are interested. I just think it's a bit outdated. That's all. Even if you have a traditional marriage, it just isn't, I don't know, just seems like, I don't know. I think we've moved past that women in the kitchen thing, but maybe I'm wrong. And in certain parts of the country, this will be a hit. Someone said Erica Kirk should be on it.
Oh, she should host it with Chris. I think the thing that people that are conservative don't realize is like people like us that tend to be, I wouldn't even say, you told me one time, you were like, I'm a lot more conservative than you would think. I don't think people realize, like, we're not liberal, like, hey, just let it fly all the time. I think that there needs to be a different classification of people like us. It's like, good luck, bro. Like, I don't, I believe that you should be able to do that as long as you're not harming anybody.
That's what a liberal is. Like, a Democrat is like, you should do whatever
Really?
you want without it hurting us. That's also a Republican because they want fewer government input.
They
So
want a
they should
smaller
be like,
government, right?
yeah. So they were like, let us do whatever we want to do. So it's actually a Republican policy and value. But Colleen
It
Kennedy
also
said,
sounds very libertarian.
libertarian.
Yeah.
What was that, Al?
As soon as I said it, I was like, maybe she didn't hear me. As soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, damn it, I am a libertarian and I identify as such.
Someone says 1950s theme. That was Colleen Kennedy. I do have to say it reminds me of like, let's go back to the good old days, that like nostalgia kind of porn thing. And it was great for like white people in the 1950s. It wasn't good for blacks or Jews or women. So it's like, I don't know. The 1950s always is like, do we want to go back there? Like, I don't know.
I don't think everybody wants to go back.
Not every single person wants
Some people are like, let's just try it. And you're like, no, I don't think so. Just come on. It's like when somebody tries to take you to a house party, but it's 20 minutes out of town. You're like, it's fine. Okay. You're like, I've heard bad things about, I will say, I'm not going to say the name of the city, but I distinctly remember this. I had, when I was in Indianapolis, obviously my ex-wife is from there. And I knew a comic friend of mine. He had literally he had his own, it was bigger than a shed, but it was like a small cabin in kind of a rural part of Indiana. And we went out there. Before we got there, he stopped. He got a 96 pack of beers. 96.
I didn't know they made it that big.
They sold those. Tori, they sold them.
That's like a lot.
I know. And he came out, or maybe he got 248s. Maybe he got 248s.
Okay.
That's probably more realistic. And I was like, what? It's just us. Why do you have all this beer? He was like, we're going to throw them up in the air and shoot them. So we get to the cabin. It is in the middle of a forest. And he's just throwing them up. And like he had a deer rifle. It just shoots one single slug. And he was like, oh, that can go through the chassis of a truck. Like it just shoots one slug. And, we shot and we left. And then I got back. I was still married at this point. And she was like, where were you? And I was like, oh, I was in this city. And everybody in the kitchen was like, don't you ever. Oh, I guess that's like one of the places where it's like the Klan is open.
Like a Ahmaud Arbery town.
Oh, yeah. And they were like, everybody's reaction. I'll never forget how retroactively scared I was about how much danger I was in.
That's terrible.
Like, why would you? But just their faces, I'll never forget that. All right, Tori. Speaking of never forget, this guy is really worried that no one's going to forget about this. And I'm sorry, Bill, but I don't think.
Is it Martin?
Yes, it was. I heard that.
So, Indy ELC called it Martinsville.
Yes,
is that
ELC. Yeah, ELC is from Indianapolis. Yeah, that's it, bro. That everybody's reaction. Do you see how quick he got that, Tori?
Yeah, it was very quick.
Yeah. I was like, wow. Yo. I was just like telling everybody about my story, and they were like, no, this is
Martinsville.
Bigger than that, bro. All right, Tori, let's talk about this. Tori, you've all made mistakes.
Who is that?
Bill Gates. That's Bill Gates.
That's not Bill Gates.
I know.
Looks like Dempsey.
I know it really did give him a Superman chin that he did not deserve.
Jeez, his hair.
Bill Gates says, Tori, I was foolish about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. And Tori, I want to ask you, is that the right use of the word foolish?
Kind of, and it kind of bends into shame on me once, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. And he's trying to say I was played for a fool. When I read the statement, Al, he also said that this man Epstein was giving away a huge amount of money to like good causes. And I have been a huge fan of the Melinda and Bill Gates fund. They have done an enormous amount of healing, including how to get rid of like mosquito-borne diseases, which kills more Africans than almost any other animal other than any other animal. So he's trying to push you into that Bill Gates Melinda fund. But Melinda came out, and as we played earlier, Al, she also said the people need to answer, including my ex-husband, for this. So he's trying. I'm not sure this was the best strategy. I don't know if I would have stayed silent until things played out. But Bill Gates is way too wrapped up in the Epstein files. Like, it wasn't just one email or one picture. Like, sometimes it was like a couple things. Like, he is in there in a deep friendship, asking for antibiotics after he worked with a Russian sex worker for an STI.
He worked with her. Yeah, they didn't work at Progressive. Oh, I used to work with your dad at the phone company.
It's just too many interactions that are like too many emails, too close, too many pictures. He and Bill Clinton, man, and again, I'm a Democrat. I loved Clinton. I loved Hillary, but I mean, Clinton's going to have to testify. And I don't know if you heard, Trump was asked what your reaction to Clinton's testifying, and it's going to be, in my opinion, bad, right? And he goes, it's a shame. It's a shame. I really liked him, and she was a very capable woman, very different from you're a nasty woman. And he's trying to appease what's going to come out in the testimony, I think. But man, Bill Gates, my opinion, has really shifted. I feel bad for Melinda and their children. And again, I don't know if I would have spoken out because it didn't ring true. Did it ring true to anybody in the chat? Like, are you like, you know what? Maybe he's right. He was just, in it for the money. Like, did anyone think that for his fund? I did not. I think he was in it for the poor children, because they are children. They're not young women. They're children. There's no such thing as this young woman shit. They are children that were abused. And I want people to remember that when you see them saying these young women. No, these are children, and we should remember that. So anyway, I don't know. I wouldn't have spoken out. Would you, Al?
He's got enough money to do on a much bigger scale what Kramer did, which is go away forever.
Yeah.
And that's where we are at this point. There's no Redeem tour. There's no keynote speaking at a crisis PR. That's all over, Jack. Yeah. And that's why I kind of started this off, not saying like, do you think he was wrong? Of course, we all agree he's wrong. The reason I said, is it wrong to use the word foolish? We were talking a couple days ago on the show about, instead of saying like a serial killer is evil, let's use the right language. Let's say that they were bipolar or schizophrenic. That then gives us some control about identifying and helping these people get medicated and helping protect ourselves, rather than just saying the devil got his soul. Like that.
You're saying it lets them off the hook by being foolish. There's no blame. There's no malicious intent.
Yes.
That's fair. And I think it didn't come out very well at all.
Yeah.
And
I would say, I would use the word foolish in saying, Tori, look, I'm late every morning to work because I don't have time to make my breakfast and get dressed and get ready for work. So what I did was I got up at 3 a.m. and I turned the oven on so it'd be ready when I got up at 5, and it burned the kitchen down.
That's a long story. That's
that's a foolish act.
No, I agree.
Yeah. And it was foolish to tell a story that long. But yeah. And so like, I don't know, he kept going after his wife was like, when you go back anywhere, if your wife says, don't go back to that bar, and you go back 10 more times, are you still married?
That's a great point. Melinda made it incredibly clear after being asked that she told him in no uncertain terms, I don't want you seeing that man, after one meeting.
Right.
And she said that caused the end of the marriage. But foolish is, I love this from Julia. It's like a 10-year-old boy trying to smoke for the first, it does remove all the blame, doesn't it?
Right. Yeah. Oh, it just happened. It was just foolish. No, you booked some flights, bro. You
pretty intentional.
You told your assistant to block off a couple of dates, dirtbag. So I mean, at this point, own it.
Yeah. I don't know what you do. I would have stayed silent until things start happening, but Bill Gates, I don't know. He's going to be persona non grata for a lot of people. I do want to just add that other countries are investigating, indicting, and taking people under consideration of what they did. For instance, Elon Musk's ex office in France was raided, and he was so angry. He goes, "This is political theater, basically." And they said France replied and said that might fly on an island, but it doesn't fly here in France. And I was like, France?
Yeah.
Bam, très bien. Très bien. But England is taking down Lord I'm sorry, Prince Andrew. There's a lord. Again, I don't remember his name, but he has been asked to be removed from parliament. So we're seeing other countries do this, France, but the United States with the sitting president. Al, I don't know if I told you this. His name is in the Epstein files, Donald Trump, more than Harry Potter's name appears in all 7 books.
Oh my God.
38,000 times.
I mean, there's nothing in your life that you've done that 6 million pages could be wrote on. Even if you chronicled every set that I've ever done over 20 years, it is a breathtaking volume.
Insane amount of contact. And when he says, I don't really know that man, 38,000 times. Kash Patel was asked, is his name in there 1,000? No. 500? No. 38,000. And so when Trump, we go back to the footage of, I don't really know him. We weren't really good friends. People just knew him. No, he was intimately involved in this man's life, business. He talked about Putin with Trump. I mean, we're going into details that go way, way into a thick web here. And I don't know how Trump gets out of this. I don't know how the Congress isn't calling for his indictment or an investigation. There are some people that are, but they should be calling this the Epstein trials, not the Epstein files. And I firmly believe that we're sitting there being like, why is nothing happening? Why? Why is nothing's happening? And these are girls and children. And we're just like, at this point, Al, it reads like what they can get away with, like a bragging 3 million things they can all get away with, instead of like an indictment on their humanity and morality. That's crazy.
Well, I will say this is just trying to give some hope. They will not be held accountable under this administration, under this Congress, the Senate, the Supreme Court. But as everything in life, times they do change, my friend. And Tori, there might be another administration, at least on the lower levels, Congress, and possibly a couple Senate seats in 26, and then in 28. And there will possible.
I think Congress will change and they will impeach him. They're saying by March 31st, the Democrats believe they have enough votes, Al, to fully impeach the president, and Republicans would join their side. That's the inside talk of DC is March 31st. By then, there will be an impeachment. But I hear you right now. There's no enforcement. I completely agree with you.
Right. So I think that's the way I keep from getting all doom and gloom is like, yeah, you're right now. It's like if your babysitter's been being mean to you while your parents at the play, they're coming home though. And we'll see what's up then. And I know how much booze you drank.
That's true. I think that's true. And by the way, just, you know, Kamala Harris posted a very intriguing message. And she just posted like the babysitter is weird as a password. Things that I'm online too much. And then she said headquarters and it went ding. And then she wrote tomorrow. So we're all waiting to hear about some kind of announcement with Kamala Harris. So we're seeing a new trend and trying to find a new administration. But I believe the midterms, it's going to be just such a blue wave. Virginia's offering 10 new gerrymandering spots to Democrats to 1 Republican. Then they're like, let's play hardball.
Wow. All right. Well, we'll see. Tori, there's another announcement. I think you might have missed it, but I did. Tori, if I told you a part 4 of a movie was coming out, or at least greenlit to start production, what would you guess? And colleagues, what would y'all guess? I'm curious.
Say that again.
If there's a part 4 of a movie, not trilogy, but what would you call that?
So a sequel, a trilogy, a quartology.
No, but no one's ever used that word.
A quad.
But no one says, come see, we're going to go see a quad.
Then what is it, Al?
It's part 4. Of which movie?
That's coming out? Okay. Don't say Ghostbusters.
No, that would be a good guess. What are the colleagues saying? Let me look.
Let's see. Someone said it's called a saga. What would be Yeah, that's a good call. Is it like another Marvel thing?
No.
Okay. Rush Hour?
Yes.
Is Brett Ratner coming back?
Let me see if this picture helps you.
Brett Ratner? Oh, because he and Chris Tucker are both in the Epstein files. Chris Tucker and Brett Ratner are in there multiple times.
Yes. Tori.
Wait, who's going to distribute this? What company would distribute Rush Hour 4?
Probably a big one.
They're alleged sexual assault pedophiles, those two.
Harvey Weinstein ran this city for 20 years. What are you talking about?
Until he was outed, which they have now been outed. By the way, cheers on who came up with that. Lars De Palma. Bravo. That was really good. Why would Jackie Chan be okay with this?
2 words, check cleared.
No, there's no way. You do not associate yourself with these men. No, Al, this is a career killing move. That's gross. That's disgusting.
Tori, I'll ask you this. What was the last thing you saw Jackie Chan in? I'll wait.
Rush Hour 3.
When was that?
No, but this is earning money off of the profits of child abusers, allegedly. I can't imagine this happening. Is this really happening?
Yes. I mean, look at, you always did the pendulum. You look at like all the shows that came out that were like poly family and interracial love and all that stuff. We were fine with it. But what did I always say about that movie? Remember the Titans? Put the camera on the people that didn't want to see the team integrate. Those people watch television too. And that's why we're seeing Brett Ratner back
Chris Harrison.
directing. Yeah, Chris Harrison's show is back. And what is it? They're not even lying about like, I'm just back to do what I did. He's like, no, we're doing traditional. Yeah. So
but Jackie Chan does not need the money, Al. Like, what a terrible decision. I bet you he doesn't star in it. That's ridiculous.
I mean, also like, you know, Jackie Chan, if I'm
a good man.
Yeah, I do believe that. But good men also want to work.
No, I can't imagine. Has he signed on? That's a good question. Aries at 3. Has he? I can't imagine now. No. I don't think this is right.
Tori, do you know why we're even talking about this? Because Trump said we need another rush hour.
I know.
Tori, the way that you're talking, you're acting like we're not in a world where the Washington Post didn't shed a third of its staff last night, that CBS News is a joke, CNN has been bought, TikTok does not function anymore, and Twitter is now a neo-Nazi hang group. So then why are you so shocked that
because I know I agree with you completely. This whole thing is corrupt and stuff, but I just don't believe Jackie Chan and any publicist that works with him for the amount of money that he has would say this is a good idea with 2 alleged pedophiles that are all wrapped up. Brett Ratner directed the Melania documentary, a huge flop. And Tucker did have some issues, yes, with the IRS, says Indy. I can't imagine Chan getting mixed up in this. He hasn't made a mistake like that in his career, and I can't imagine it now. I can't imagine he signs on.
Tori, look what Julia says, and this was my thought.
Oh, that's smart. Maybe the movie intro will be the funeral of Jackie Chan. Yeah, he can't be in this movie. I'll bet you $26.
Yes, they're going to open the casket, and it just says Jackie Chan's career in that casket. Yeah, Tori, you might know this. You've gotten a few residual checks in your life. One thing that I've always wondered is like, especially when you're watching a series, right? If somebody gets killed in the first 3 episodes and it does 5 seasons, do they get paid or they only get paid for like that episode?
It depends if you have money on the back end. Like if you have money in points in the back end, then you do get paid. But if you don't, you're just getting a salary for what you did.
Okay. All right. So the thing is, take the money on the back end.
Totally. If you can get the points on the back end and you'll do well. It's like the guy that did the mural, Al, in Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook office for the first Facebook office. He, instead of taking like 60 grand or something, he took stock and it's worth like $200 million.
Yeah. I mean, it's like those kind of decisions where you just, and I'm sure he needed the 60 G's. What's up, Gabriel? Right. Happy Thursday. Nailed it. All right, Tori, we do have some serious news to get to, but I do want to get to this one last thing. So let's do this here. All right, Tori, let me pull this person up because I want to see who we're talking about, Tori. Here's our reveal. Who's this? Who do you think?
It looks a little bit like the woman from The Pit, but I don't think it is. These are
Soon Yi.
Oh, Woody Allen's
Yes.
child and wife. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Well, Tori, this is why I always say the thing I love about human beings is they always surprise you. You would think Soon Yi, maybe at least for our generation, ground zero for somebody that was openly groomed and taken advantage of by Woody Allen. You would think that she'd be on the side of the Epstein girls. But alas, I will read you this. All right. This is an email that was found in the tranche of emails in the Epstein files. All right.
Tranche?
Tranche.
I'm sorry?
Do you say tranche or tranche? Tranche. It's a tranche. Will somebody look up tranche or tranche? It's a large dumping, right?
I've never heard of that.
You've never heard of it? Okay, colleagues, right now, y'all get in there while I read this. Because we're gonna see who's laughing in a second. I'm pulling up the comments now.
Trove. Do you mean trove? Black Asian?
No.
Has anyone heard of tranche?
Oh, okay. I'm looking this up. You guys are throwing the show off, but Tori's joy.
Let's dig through the tranche.
I thought, wait, no, yeah. Okay, tranche definition.
No, you mean
it says often misspelled tranche, and that's how I spelled it. It says is a portion, slice, or installment of a larger financial transaction. So I guess it's only for finances.
Okay, I've never heard of that.
Okay. Okay.
Je ne sais pas.
Somebody, W said I'm speaking in French. W, I'm on a whole different level. I'm bringing y'all up.
Je parle français depuis 8 ans, and there's no word tranche. I don't know it, but maybe I'm learning. Okay, now I know.
Okay, well, okay. I'll tell you who's learning is Soon Yi, how to be a loyal soldier. I cannot believe she said that because I was so sure she was going to be like, this is outrageous. This is an email that was found in the email document dump. She writes, Jeffrey, it says, I know, I don't know what they're talking about. I know it's been an incredible story. You have to feel sorry for him. He can't learn. I guess they're talking about Woody. I also thought it was disgusting what that 15-year-old did to him. Tori. I hate women who take advantage of guys, and she is definitely one of them. She's talking about a 15-year-old. She knew exactly what she was doing and how vulnerable. Oh, this is about Anthony Weiner, the congressman. Yes, she knew how vulnerable Weiner was when she wrecked him. She spelled wrecked wrong. When she reeled him like fish to bait. It's also laughable when she says in her letter that she is putting it out there to help him. How does that help him? It only humiliates him. We know his excuse that he has a sickness. What is her excuse for being a despicable and disgusting person who preys on the weak? Weak is spelled wrong. We know he is sick, but also she is sick to have done this to him. So manipulative on her part. She should be ashamed of herself. She's talking about a 15-year-old girl, Tortor. Your thoughts?
That's what we call a brainwash.
Mm-hmm.
That's someone who's just been absolutely brainwashed. And Woody Allen, by the way, not just a little interacting with Jeffrey Epstein, constantly in the Epstein files. He was a neighbor of Jeffrey Epstein. They were very close friends. I'm not surprised. I mean, I didn't think she'd be like, go Me Too movement. Like, she was taken as
she was very pro, like, 15-year-old. Like, you need to apologize to this grown man who's a freaking congressman.
And a pedophile. Like, that's
as soon as you learn to drive. Like, wow. Jesus.
Yeah, that's a brainwash. I honestly have a lot of empathy for her.
Is that Stockholm syndrome?
For sure. That's Stockholm syndrome. That's brainwashing. That's blaming the victim. I mean, you're blaming a child and it's very clear that's sort of what happened to her. So I don't know. That's disgusting. That is disgusting. So
what do you think? I don't know if I've asked you this before. What do you think would happen if the Woody Allen thing happened like today? Do you think it just wouldn't get off the ground because there'd be such a public backlash? Because I remember like seeing them in Knicks games and being like, this was before everybody was woke. But I was like, should you be doing that? That was pre-woke reaction where you were like, ooh.
Everyone's just like to themselves, like, oh my God.
Yeah. Oh,
now he's outside of the country and can't get a movie distributed because US distributors, no one will take his movies.
He might need to come on back. I think he could get one made now.
Well, I remember when Helen Hunt was on DBL and I finally just asked her, would you ever be in a Woody Allen movie again? And she so quickly just went, no. And I was like, damn. So like, look, I love Woody Allen movies. This is a hard thing. I love Woody Allen movies. And I love Michael Jackson songs. And it's like, what do we do? But at this point, like, he is not on the side of the good guys. He is just.
Wait, now in your mind, and there's no right or wrong answer to this, is Woody Allen and Michael Jackson in the same basket for you? Because Michael Jackson was acquitted, but yes, he was acquitted and then passed away. Even though you and a lot of people feel the way they feel, and I'm not taking myself out of that. I definitely believe something happened that was not great.
I believe the survivors of Michael Jackson.
Right. So like, do you then? So then, him and Woody Allen are, even though Woody Allen is still currently doing the thing.
Yes, he is currently, but he's no longer in the United States. He's in Paris and he's persona non grata at the Oscars. I mean, he knows he's not welcome. May I just also say that Michael Jackson is all over the Epstein files with pictures and things like that. Everybody is in the mix. So do I think they're the same? I think they both abuse children.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, to the extent that that's been normalized, I do like that there's still a pushback from a large amount of folks. Like, that'll never be normal to me.
No. So, and did you hear the 2 lines that Deepak said in the Epstein files?
Oh, what Deepak Chopra said? Yes.
Yeah, do you want to hear it? He said something like, God is unknown, but little girls are super cute. I liked watching you zero in on your prey. It made me smile. Thank you for a very lovely experience with hearts sprinkled through. I have so much. Yeah. So I just, even the people you trusted to give you like advice about your heart, your soul, your morals, dirty.
Yeah. Dirty. And he also had a line in there that said, you want to know the best thing about cute girls? They're aware when they're making noises. And I was like, first of all, what does that mean? Second of all, that's the creepiest thing I've ever heard. Tori, everything.
Carol, thank you for the $50. She says you're doing great, and we all appreciate your. Thank you so much, Carol. That means the world to us. Deepak. If you didn't know, Peter Attia, the longevity coach, and Deepak are all over it. I did not know that, Al. And also, there's someone redacted where it says your littlest one was very naughty last night.
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ, Tori, why'd you? That was like, I think there are certain things I try and push down. Sorry to use the Lord's name in vain. I don't want to, offend anybody, but it's just like, it is so jarring. And that's, I think, the bigger question that like, we'll always be able to try and joke our way through this. But colleagues, my question that I keep asking the people whose opinion, like Tori, I really respect, and just in my own head is like, how do we move forward with this? Like, our entire government is a pedophile ring, and that's not even up for debate anymore.
No,
that used to be like, oh, shut up, yeah, conspiracy. And now it's just like, it seems like it's more than there is less. And so, like, how do we have votes on things?
I agree. And by the way, someone wrote a meme that I thought was so clever. They said, it's so weird that the QAnon, who thought there was a pedophile ring of a group of politicians, was right, but it was the wrong party. And it's so, they said Clinton, Hillary, and the Pizzagate and all this. And it's like, y'all were just in the wrong party. So to be honest, it's partyless, actually. Bill Clinton, like, this goes beyond party. It's just the highest people in government. And so now, what did I tell you guys? You're going to start hearing about the votes because his polling is down. And yesterday he was interviewed on ABC and they're like, your polling is down. And he goes, it should be great. It should be great. And they're like, but it's not. And he's like, it should be. And now he wants to not only nationalize the voting, which is against Article 1, the states control voting. He wants to add ICE agents, Al, at the voting polls and booths. And when Carolyn Levitt was asked today about it, she could not say no, that there would be ICE agents at the polls, which is ridiculous. So
Well,
he's
it's
very
against federal law to have officers encircling and intimidating people at the polls. So that would be a federal crime. And also, I think, Tori, I always look for things to keep us positive because we need something. Again, a lot like what he did in Minneapolis by having them be so heavy-handed, ICE when they first landed, is Trump always tips his hand. The fact
totally,
that he's saying this, what do you think? Like, for as
totally.
much as we talk about certain congressmen or senators not doing enough, these Democratic governors in these blue cities are already, they've been preparing for this.
There's
And so the
exactly
fact
right.
that he told them that, they're already
Yeah.
passing laws, like he shouldn't have done this
Yes, but
if
he
you were
can't
going
pull
to
back.
do this. I'm glad he did.
Yeah, and
Thanks
it
for the
changes
heads
the
up.
conversation from Minneapolis, by the way. Like, you're absolutely right. But I told you that guy from Arizona says we have backup plans ready to go with law enforcement if something is trying. So they know during the midterms that this is going to come down. It could come down to an actual fight. I mean, that's what we're looking at to protect. But again, I tell you right now, the midterms have to happen. The states will be in charge of the voting, and this will take a congressional act if they want to do that. They don't have the votes. And I know for a fact this comes from the brain of Stephen Miller. This absolutely comes from the brain. And Tom Tillis, who's become a Republican against Trump, he's not being elected anymore. He's retiring. He's just like, this is straight from the brain of Stephen Miller. And it does change the conversation now. So it's just interesting.
Yeah, yeah, it is. The one thing that I will say is that it's interesting that yes, they come up with the most disgusting, vulgar, and violent plans, but this is also a government that cannot get its warrants right. Even when they went to go get the warrant to present their warrant in
Georgia.
In Georgia, there's like a black woman that's like, that's not a building we have here. And he was like, yeah, but I need to come. And she's like, but that's not a place that's here. And he's like, well, trust me. They can't, like, so the execution, I think, is the problem. I think maybe even having like a smaller band of like, it's been suggested that the reason they say like, well, the US hasn't been in a war except for, like we've been in a lot of overseas interactions. But instead of sending an army with a guy beating a drum and a flag, you send 12 very highly skilled guys.
SEAL team. Yeah, yes. SEAL
team. Or there's levels above the SEAL team, the Army Rangers and stuff, and they take care of that. And I wonder if like they could do it over again instead of telling the world and getting the Proud Boys, just maybe get 12 skilled people. Because I'd be more scared of like 12 Steve Bannons that are capable of evil thought than 12,000, guys that die electrocuting their nutsack on January 5th, which they did.
I completely agree. Steve Bannon famously is being quoted in a viral clip where he says, I promise you, if Democrats win in the midterms, there are people in this room, including me, that will go to jail. And people are just looping it over and over and over again.
Yeah, they know. And that's why they're like, they have to try and rig it. But like, if you try and rig it, you don't tell people. That's the one. They're just so,
they're not
like
great
they
at it.
Almost get it, but there's always one thing that they mess up with. So
I love when you said, I thought the takeover of a new world order would be like cooler, like smoother.
I did. I thought it would be like, we are in charge now. Don't worry, your houses are paid for. You don't need to work. You just need to worship us. And I'd be like, hey, man, what else do I need to do? Like if it was better, you can't offer people nothing and be dumb and like violent. Like you got to kind of I was listening to to this thing about, and they've talked about the way different authoritarians have come into power. You think about, even though he tried to become a political figure later in his life, but Pablo Escobar.
Oh yeah.
For as much as people are like, why did people ride with him? He was a murderer. He built hospitals, dog.
He gave soup kitchens. He helped so many people, poor people in his time. Al Capone did the exact same thing.
Yes, hand out turkeys at Thanksgiving.
You can't
give the people shit.
Right.
And then take their shit and then be like, why are y'all all mad? I don't think they forgot the initial part of the arrangement. So
and also, I don't know if you guys saw, I don't have it up. The wrestling. Did you guys see that yesterday? there was a wrestling, I think it's AEW. I'm not sure I don't know wrestling
Yes.
well,
Yes.
but
It's
they
like
were
an
fighting.
offshoot. It's like a rival company to WWE. Yes.
Okay, and there was a guy I think named The Hook playing, and he was in a character and all this. And the crowd, the wrestling crowd. Remember, Donald Trump was in the WWE. He went in the ring. He hired Linda McMahon to be a part of his administration. He loves WWE. He's part of it. And the wrestling crowd started saying, "Ice, F ice," so loud that they broke character and were like looking around, and they stopped the play and before they could go on. If you're getting the wrestling crowd to be against it, you are
Bad.
losing. You are losing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. It wasn't Hook. Sorry, guys. I don't know.
It wasn't what?
The Hook, but it was somebody who was like in character, and you see him like being like, this is different. And yeah, it was really, really astounding.
Tori, the people are not happy, and apparently neither are the lawyers. A DHS lawyer in Minneapolis. Tori, why don't you tell everybody what happened?
So there's
in court, I should say. Oh, I like this shot. It's just me. If I don't like a point you make, I'll just be like, and what now? Okay.
That's terrible.
Okay, you ready to play nice? Okay.
Yeah, it was Brady Kill. He was the tattooed guy, but the guy he was fighting, I thought was called The Hook. Anyway.
By the way, Tori, we're going to call this the Chris Harrison cam from now on.
I'm in the kitchen.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Tell.
Oh, God. The DHS lawyer, who is Department of Homeland Security, was in court, and she lost it. She lost it. She just went. She said the quiet part out loud and said, "This job, quote, sucks," and asked to be held, no joke, in contempt of court so she could have sleep for 24 hours.
That's literally what my cousin Vinny did. That's literally what Joe Pesci did, because the horn was going off, and Marissa Tomei was like, "I'll bail you out," and he's like, "No, I'm sleeping like a baby in there."
He's like, "Let me keep in contempt." So it was a look into what's going on for normal people trying to keep up in these abnormal, chaotic times. And she literally just said, "This sucks." So it's something that will be remembered, that she'd rather go to jail than have to deal with everything that's going on. Again, causes more chaos. And then, like Bam Bam, he beats things first down. And then he's like, we're going to back off a little. Like the New York Times cover today, Al, was like, Trump softens his stance. And he said in the interview, we should go a little bit softer. A little bit. You think? And then he also said, Al, look, guys, it's been 2 out of 10,000 people that were killed. And you get some bad publicity.
That's what he looks at human beings as, publicity.
Exactly right. That's exactly.
You know what
they never talk about. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no. You were talking. What'd you say?
He just says, and they never talk about the people that we're saving in the waters. And the ABC guy goes, "The waters?" It was like a Jonathan Swan interview, but he said it's 2 out of tens of thousands, and we get bad publicity. I was shocked. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, just kind of circling back to that DHS lawyer. You know what? I always think about it in analogies. You ever go to a restaurant and they're super short-staffed, and it's taking forever for your stuff to get there? Yes. And you and your partner, just me and you, would be like, "What the F? My bread, it's been 2 hours." And then you're like, "We're going to tell that waiter." And then the waiter comes over, and you can tell, because they've been working all those pissed off tables, that they're more mad than you are.
Totally.
There's a humane side to this, that like we look at like DHS is this horrible organization, but those are people that a lot of times we're like, "I want to serve my country."
Right.
And then I went to law school and I care about this. My dad was a lawyer, and all of a sudden they're serving under, this administration. And I think probably just the everything that's been in her mind, like every party she skipped so she could stay and study, every internship she did that summer instead of going to a music outdoor concert, led to this. And I'm sure she's like, "This sucks, and I could have done way more or less and had a better time than I'm having now." So I think everybody's frustrated, but we're also not feeling sorry for DHS lawyers. Go ahead and retire.
And also, it was an NBC interview. I apologize. I said ABC. And it was a pretty good one, because Tom Lamas got him on a lot of things. And again, when he asked about polling, they go, it's not great. And he goes, it should be great. It should be. And it tells you everything. That one word should be great.
Yeah. I just think that he's in his own reality. And I mean,
Always.
you know, it's, I don't know. This is a random ass thought, but this is Thursday. So I'm gonna tell y'all, like one time, like I was at a stoplight and I looked over and there was an unhoused person at a bus stop. It was like 11 o'clock at night. And he was air strumming a guitar. And then he jumped up the way Mick Jagger would and landed on the ground, like, and then hit it again. And I was like, in his head, he's playing Madison Square Garden.
Totally.
So like,
I do that
who
when
feel sorry for him? You know, he's happy. I think that's how Trump is. He thinks he's killing it.
Yeah, but he's aware, because that's the other thing. He's hyper aware of bad polling. That is a huge issue for him, and it has been the worst ever from this term. And it's not going anywhere.
I just think his people give him false polls. They're like, you're at 93% with. Remember, there was a movie called Game Change. It was about Sarah Palin's rise, and like, and they were, one of the things she was hung up on was how she was polling in Wasilla, Alaska, and her chief of staff was like, "You're trying to be the vice president." She was like, "Give me the numbers."
That's
and it's like, yeah, it is just like some people get obsessed with numbers, and like I don't think Trump. I think his people are like, it's not great, but we're on it. And then he just goes, all right. And so when a reporter asks him about it, like Caitlin Collins, he's just like, you're an unpleasant person. You see, you have to bring up this one little thing, a few people. He doesn't realize he is in the Terror Dome, with Mel Gibson, and people are at the gates like, this is.
I think he realizes. I disagree. I think he absolutely realizes it and goes personal against Caitlin. Whenever someone touches a nerve, he goes after you personally as a woman. He never does this with male reporters, but it's always quiet.
I think John Lemon would say different.
Well, yeah, he did harass John Lemon, but the insult,
that was racial, not
yeah, right. But he is particularly offensive towards women personally when they touch on a nerve. JD Vance then brought it up to Megyn Kelly. I posted it on my Instagram and said, he goes, yeah, why couldn't Caitlin Collins just have some fun? And again, they're talking about children being sexually assaulted. Have some fun with it, have fun. So it's insane the way these people are trying to get out of this. And again, why this has not gone into an investigation or at least some kind of impeachment, indictment are we going to let it go? Like, we're just going to let this go? They found a trap door out.
I keep saying, like, how are we going to have a country, Tori? Because we cannot indict the sitting president and vice president.
There's no rule, actually. Constitutional scholars disagree with you. There's no rule that you can't not indict.
Who's going to sit on that board? I mean, on that jury?
It's not going to be, it would probably be an impeachment. That's probably the best way that you could do that. And they're saying that when they're doing that. And remember, this is only like a part of the Epstein files. Like, there's more to give. And Deputy Attorney General was like, I don't understand the question. It's not a crime to party with Epstein.
I couldn't believe that.
Read what you released.
Tori,
by the way,
go ahead.
No, there's a trap door they found in Epstein's island house. You ready to hear where it goes? To the sea. It opened and went to the ocean floor.
They had that in Game of Thrones.
That's the moon door. What was that used for? There's threats that children were killed in this.
Oh, they absolutely. There's not even, of all the things that I would bet my life on. Absolutely. Because everybody ain't going quietly. Yeah. There's some people that fought too hard. There's some people that threatened to tell. And what do you think? These dudes that are all doing this together care about human life other than theirs?
Yeah.
Tori, I think
that was scary.
Especially when, and I don't know if they're already on this, we always talk about Epstein Island. He had a lot of properties. I would be very interested to see if some of those properties were excavated, what was going on out there.
I agree. I agree with you. And every room had a camera. He had documented absolutely everything. Now, I do want to warn you guys. I saw some film this morning and I thought it was real. And it was Trump and Epstein and like little girls in the background. And it turned out to be AI. So just be careful of what you're seeing, and you want to verify it with a second source.
I did that with what this clip I was about to ask you about. I didn't have it. I can't believe I didn't record. Maybe I did, but it was Ted Cruz in that he was like talking to Congress, and he goes, because you can hear the meetings that they're having with crisis PR people, and right now they just had the meeting where they were like, we need to spin this to like where we're all working together. So Ted Cruz goes, well, why don't we come together as Americans? Why don't we all decide to stop murderers, to stop rapes, to stop harassing pedophiles? Did you see that?
Yeah.
And I had to look at a second video because I was like, that's definitely AI. And it wasn't.
No, he meant to say, go after like pedophiles, but he said we should stop harassing pedophiles. And you're like, what a Freudian slip is that? What a Freudian slip is that?
Tori, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if this can be fixed. And that's why I'm saying I think the only play for the Republican Party is to just become and just say, right, like we are a full-on cult. Because anybody that's got any back and forth, like, I don't know if I like this, they can't be a part of. They have such hard edges in terms of like, there's 6 million documents. Clearly we did this. Clearly we allowed Minneapolis, and we want to do more. Yeah. So the people that are like, do y'all want to do more? And there's some people like, yeah, then they're on the team. But like the Republican Party, as we knew it, that was like a big tent, fiscal conservatives, some flat earthers, a couple misogynists, a couple like anti whatever. It's a hard edge party now. Like you're either in or out, almost like a neo-Nazi kind of organization. Well, that like there's no back and forth.
Yeah, but it's like if they have dirt on you, then you're in. And like I'm starting to see Republicans break. Those 8 Republicans that sided with Democrats to not fund the $10 billion to ICE. You're starting to see the cracks. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene, who we don't all trust, of course, she was like, MAGA was a big lie. Like she just said that, and I'm like, that's what we're seeing at this point. But I'm just wondering when it comes down to taking down the highest person of power in the planet for being a alleged pedophile, that we don't, I thought that the world would unite, or America would unite against pedophiles. Like I thought that's what happened, but hasn't happened yet. So it's very confusing to me.
Yeah. I also, this is the last thing I'll say about it. I also wonder if no one will speak, because I think they all know what happens to you when you go to jail. You know, Jeffrey Epstein, you know, whatever. The other guy that ran a parallel modeling agency, I think his name was like Jean-Luc Brunel. He also went the same way Jeffrey Epstein did. The guy that was involved with Jeffrey Epstein's Ponzi scheme was that Bear Stearns? Yeah, he passed away as well.
Was it Bear Stearns? I don't remember. I think it was Goldman. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
so I think they know. I think people know what happens, because it can't go too big to fail. Maybe that's what they meant, you know. And so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I have to imagine in my head. I'm just letting you guys know. I have hope.
That's the only place you can imagine.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. In my head, I do believe that there is going to be movement on this through bipartisanship. I could be totally wrong, and they don't have enough votes. I get it. But I do believe the rumblings in DC have absolutely said to themselves, by March 31st, there will be an impeachment. And that takes Republicans. So it's hard to read this, have a daughter, and then not do anything. Have a son, not have children, just being a good human, and not
a human. Baseline. Baseline.
Yeah.
Baseline.
Yeah. Does anyone here on the chat, and I'm just going to ask you, Al, do you believe that Epstein unalived himself or was murdered?
I think he was murdered.
I think he was murdered too.
Yeah, because what basis would he think to say? He's been through the legal system before. He was able to leave 7 days a week.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not like when you hear those guys where they have 2 strikes.
Yeah.
They just got out of jail. They were in a penitentiary for 22 years. And the cops say they got out of the car, and they said, you're not taking me back to jail alive.
Yeah,
that's
I agree
a person
with you.
that has had consequences. That's like, I'd rather die.
Yeah, I think he was murdered.
And I told you I was listening to that podcast, and they were like, I'm not trying to be rude, but Jeffrey Epstein lived better than everybody listening to this podcast in jail.
That's a good point.
Why would he be so fearful
right
of that fate? So
yeah,
it just doesn't make any sense.
Too many powerful people have a way to get in, and I'm talking about Clinton's, Trump's, like those are the top of the top of the top princes. I mean, these people, the most amount of power you could have, that's who's dealing with what we're going on with this. So I believe there will be an impeachment for this. And if just keep your eyes and ears open for that. I also wanted to say that real quick, I wanted to, oh man, what was it? I forgot. I'm so sorry, but there was something else I wanted to say.
You know what I did remember? All right, my darling. What you got for us?
Okay. Did you know the word you type the longest with your left hand only? Can anyone think of this?
Marshmallow.
M is on the far right.
I'm looking at it and I still got that wrong. Zoo?
That's a really short word. And zoo's on the right side too. O is on the right.
You're talking about like fingers have to stretch over there?
I'm saying on the left side, when you type like with good typing and you type on the left, what's the longest word you can use just using your left hand?
Bereft.
That's a really good call. It is stewardesses.
Oh. All right. So we're using
Should
old school terms.
Should I do a different one?
No, that's good. Stewardesses. I would have never thought about that. That
Really?
is a word that, like, whether for as much as people say, oh, I'm not changing my language, like it's just a word that like people just don't use that much anymore.
No, it's kind of a canceled word. I agree.
Yeah, but you just don't hear it.
Right. But stewardesses is the longest word you can type using just your left hand.
All right. Well, Tori,
you didn't like that one.
I did. It was great. I mean, I'm still thinking about it.
Okay.
And if I'm ever at a typewriter again in 1971, you best believe I'm going to put my cigarette out and I'm going to type that with my left hand and then tell my boss to stop grabbing my ass. Guys, thank you for joining. I'm going to do a solo show tomorrow, Friday. Yes.
I can do it too.
Oh, then yeah, let's do a show tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. You seem like you're regretting that already.
I'm supposed to pick up Tony Danza. Oh, I'm getting a new foster dog, guys. And his name is Tony. And I'm putting Danza on the back of it because he's the boss.
Well, I'll be here tomorrow. I don't know if Tori will ever be back, but if she is, I'll be the first to know.
I'll be there with Tony. I could be there with Tony.
Yeah, come through with Tony.
Okay,
yeah, we'll do a quick Friday show. But either way, colleagues, we'll be back tomorrow. We love y'all. Thank y'all for showing love and hanging with us. And we'll see you tomorrow. All right, Tori. Love you, girl.